How are we getting on, folks? Lucas, I suppose to start things off, I may as well say it wasn't the clean sweep that we were hoping for, but realistically, I think we were asking a little bit too much for that. In terms of overall, there today, it was a very good day. 28-1 winner. We were very unlucky then with crack on Corrie. The non-runner then with the next best didn't help our cause, but with uh with the 28-1 winner and the 12-1 third, just narrowly denied. It was a decent enough day of race reading. Um, I'm gonna take it as a victory today anyway. That's all I can really do. Not often you get 28-1 winners, and in such great fashion as well. It was a very taken performance for his debut. It was definitely one, uh, potentially for the future anyway, considering that there was plenty of talk for the Henry de Bromhead horse that just completely faded out of it. Um, Moving on to tomorrow then, Wexford. Now, this is the tricky one now. Wexford, in my opinion, is one of the hardest tracks to try and call a winner. Um, for me personally, anyway, it's just it's such a funny sort of a track. Like, you need to have a horse that's going to be well suited to a track like this. It's a bit like Tremor, it's a bit like Kilbeggan. Um, it just takes horses for courses basically, and everything else like that. It's going to be a tricky old day of racing as well. Not sure if you can hear me or not. The rain is absolutely pouring down, um, and it's starting to get fairly wild out there. The weather, so whether that softens the ground or not, I don't know, but more than likely it will. And if that's the case, it's just going to be a complete slog to the line in 99% of the races tomorrow. So there probably is going to be a few upsets. There's probably going to be a few, I suppose, head scratching moments, let's just say. But no, I'm hopeful, and I'm hopeful that I've got it right. But just the fact that Wexford isn't one of my stronger courses for race reading, um, I would probably suggest, if you are having a bet tomorrow, minimum stakes. I'm only doing €2 win or €1 each way, and that's me being totally honest here. I'm not totally confident in an awful lot of these, just simply because of the track itself and what way my strike rate is with Wexford alone. Um, but I suppose moving on from that now, we may as well crack on with things and get things over and done with. The first race off, the 150. Um, Decent enough opener to the card. Jelly Blanche heads the market here for Willie Mullins and Paul Townend, but we're going to be, I suppose, going against them unwillingly, but dreaming and hoping here. This this horse here is currently priced in around 7-4 for the Queely family. Um, I'm nearly certain it's father and son. I'm almost 100% positive it's father and son, but I could be wrong on that. But currently priced in around 7-4. Realistically, this horse is going to be very hard to beat. When you look at the form of Jelly Blanche, it's consistent, but it's consistent in placing. It was a very good third on its penultimate start back. But last time out, it was very disappointing when it pulled up. I think it was actually in Wexford when it pulled up that particular day. So there are an awful lot of downsides to it. Would I be taking 5-4 for Jelly Blanche? Looking at Willie Mullins' record, I can understand why the price is 5-4, but just I suppose the way the horse has progressed and how slow it has progressed, I would be avoiding it, in my personal opinion. Now, this dreaming and hoping has put up some very good performances in recent times. Obviously, it was third last time out, so that showed plenty of improvement. In its bumper days, it was a very good second at 66-1. I think it was in Tremor, um, to a horse called Big Bad and Beautiful. trained, well, at the time, Gordon Elliott, but now with Sneezy Foster. Um, but if producing a run similar enough to that, um, realistically, this Dreaming and Hoping is going to win out a very, very comfortable winner. Um, like, Big Bad and Beautiful is miles before a horse of Jelly Blanche's standards, and that's not me being harsh, it's just being totally realistic. The fact that Dreaming and Hoping has put in a very, very taken performance last time out, um, when staying on very, very well to be third, ahead of or behind a couple of fairly decent rivals, it would suggest that it's coming in here on better terms. And I definitely think, should the Queely setup have this horse ready to go, it's going to take a hell of a lot of a horse to stop this Dreaming and Hoping. And realistically, I think it's going to be very, very hard to beat. The 225 then is going to be my patron pick of the day, so I'm not going to be covering it. We'll get to that now in a couple of moments. 255. This one here, I'm going to be chancing an each way with a horse called Rock on Shamey for Ray Hackett and Shauna Larkin claiming £7. This one currently priced in around 7-1, and realistically, I can honestly say that it's one of the better price horses in here, providing it's ready to go. From a bit of a layoff. Now, realistically, when you look back on the form here, it was a very, very taken performance. I think on its maiden hurdle win, I think, was in Kilbeggan in 2019. Now, since then, it's gone on to win in the likes of Galway. A very, very taken performance in Galway, might I add. And let me see, is there anything else? There's been a couple of hurdle wins in the meantime. And a few seconds as well. And they've all been in soft to heavy ground. Now, I think one of them might have been in Fairyhouse and one in... could have been Turles. Something is calling Turles for me. But when you look back on the form, before I went on a bit of a rant there, when you look back on the form for this Rock on Shamey, generally it's come from good to yielding or all the way down to soft to heavy. So with the added rain there that's been falling all day, plus the fact that it's probably going to stay raining all night, it's more than likely going to be heavy tomorrow. It's definitely coming in here in very, very good terms. Now, it is coming on the back of a layoff. I think it's what are we in now? We're in March now, so it's probably coming in on a 6 to 8 month layoff. My prediction would be, anyway, just off the top of my head, I can't be too certain on that one now, but generally does put in a fairly decent performance on seasonal debut. So I just think there's providing. Look at Shauna Larkin; she's a very, very talented jockey, and she's very, very underrated. And Ray Hackett, the fact that he owns it as well, like he always, well, I'm speaking as if I know the man. I don't know the man. He's probably looking to try and find the best opportunities for him. So the quality of the field isn't necessarily too hot here. And just, I suppose, providing Rock on Shamey can put in his best run on overall form, it definitely brings him strongly into it. Like I said, Shauna Larkin, she's a very, very talented jockey. And it's going to, I suppose, providing he's ready to rock, it's going to take a hell of a lot of a horse to stop him. And that's just being totally realistic here. I think 7-1 is a great, great value price in terms of an each-way market. And realistically, it should be in the top 2 or top 3, providing it's ready to run. 325 then is going to be another each-way selection and another 7-1 shot. And I'm delighted to see Alan King partnering up with Seamus Fahey again to take the ride on Take All. Realistically, I think Take All and Alan King get on like a house on fire, basically. Now, Alan served, I think, 2 months of a suspension there in the I suppose the recent past, but he's back now again, taking £7 off. Take All's back. he partnered it for its only win in Cork in heavy ground over similar enough conditions. It was a 14 length winner that particular day, and he also partnered it on the Leopardstown run over Christmas, when it was a very, very decent third, behind a couple of very talented rivals. It's a fairly open affair, this one. There's a few in here that sort of have me head scratching. I think Feel Good Island is currently the opening market favourite. Now, realistically, I don't know. I just don't think Feel Good Island is a great price. I think there's better value and there are better horses at bigger prices. And in my opinion, if Alan King can get the same tune as he got out of Take All, either in Cork or Leopardstown, it's going to be plenty enough for him to win here. Ground conditions are going to be suited well. Uh, I definitely think the style of running is going to suit Wexford. The fact he's probably going to be held up just off the leaders, and probably make a bit of a burst when he's coming in to run in, before the last, I think it's 2 or 3 hurdles in the straight in Wexford. Realistically, if on song, Take All should be very, very hard to beat, and especially with Alan King on board. And before we go, I want to wish Alan the very, very best of luck tomorrow. 4 o'clock then is going to be another each way selection here, but this one here is going to be the big prize horse of the day, coming up against Sam Curling's horse here that's just gone out of my head. It's the favourite. It's not Jelly Blanche. No, that's Willie Mullins. It's some sort of a funny name, whatever it is. But we are going to be going with Turn Down the Volume here at 16-1 each way for Roy Tector and Jordan Gainford, taking £7 off. This one here is currently priced in around 16-1. It's definitely well worth an each way. Look at, realistically, the favourite here, whose name is still just evade me at the present time, is definitely the one to be seriously taken into it. I can't remember the name, but I remember its last run. I think it was in Clonmel, when it was staying on very, very well to be a very decent third that particular day. Now, realistically, if that horse puts in a similar enough performance, it's going to be very, very hard to beat. But just at even money at the present moment, I'd be, I suppose, wary enough of backing it simply because it's yet to win a race, if I'm not mistaken. And both Sam Curling and Philip Enright, who takes the ride, are currently on duck eggs for the last couple of weeks. Sam, obviously, with 0 from 9, and Philip Enright being... Actually, no, Philip Enright had a winner there today. So that's a mistake on my behalf. But up until today, the two of them were going off duck eggs. So... that's the only real worry for me. I don't know. Something about this Turn Down the Volume here is definitely taking my eye. When you look down the form here, it's a 3-time point-to-point winner. All of those have been in soft to heavy ground. Put in a very, very decent performance when it was, I think, second in Fairyhouse. For some reason, I think it's Fairyhouse. When it was a fairly big price, it probably double or triple figures, but it was a very decent performance that particular day, and that was in soft to heavy ground as well. So realistically, this horse is a bit of a mudlark. Potentially he's going to like the ground conditions in Wexford tomorrow. And realistically, I think he's coming in here with a fairly decent chance, especially with Jordan Gainford on board. That man needs no introduction. He's been absolutely on fire this past season. He's only been riding, I suppose, the last couple of months, but he's put in some very decent performances, and he's won some very credible races. So I honestly think he's not going to be a claimer for too long. He's definitely going to ride out his claim. Something similar enough like to Darragh O'Keefe. The two of them definitely look to be bright stars for the future, and Jordan Gainford especially. But Roy Tector, I don't know too much about. It's sort of hard to know. All I know is he put in a fairly decent performance last time out. I think he was 4th. I could be totally wrong. No, actually, he was 6th of 8 when he was 400-1 in Thurles, just off the top of my head. So realistically, you can't really judge him on that form. It's like 400-1. there's never been a horse to win a race at 400 to 1 in Ireland. So I wouldn't be going too much into that. Um, so look at, I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to say this Turn Down the Volume. He's worth an each way. Um, Whether he gets in the top three or top four, I don't know, but there's certainly worse horses at shorter prices that you could make cases for. So realistically, I think Turn Down the Volume is coming in here with a very, very live chance, especially if the rain keeps falling. 435 is going to be my nap of the day, and this one here comes from the Dermot McLaughlin setup with Conor Maxwell on board. Opposites attract. Currently priced in around 5-4. I nearly forgot the name of him there. But yeah, this one here certainly takes the biscuit, in my personal opinion. He's £2 lower off than what he would be over chasing fences. Realistically, he is a better chaser, but coming in here on great form. Obviously, the yard is in serious form as well. Produced some two very, very nice winners over the past couple of weeks with the likes of Avellino and Delvino. I think realistically, it's certainly one to be really taken out of the race, and I certainly think that in terms of overall capability, there isn't too many in here that's going to match him. Looks to be one of the more well-treated horses in here, and he should take a hell of a lot of stopping tomorrow. I would be very much shocked to see him beaten, to be quite honest with you. And I think a price of 5-4 is very, very generous for a horse coming from a yard in serious, talented form. 505 then is going to be going from the nap to the next best. This one here is going to be going to Awesome Scirocco for the John Kiley setup, partnered with Derek O'Connor, currently priced in around 9-4. This one here, realistically, looks to be the class act of the field. It's one of the ones that has most of the experience and everything else like that. I think experience is going to be put to the test, like we've seen with the bumper there today. Potentially there are some very talented horses, especially there's one getting plenty of support in the Paul Nolan setup. That looks obviously dangerous, the fact that Paul comes from close to the track. So it's definitely very interesting when you see a Paul Nolan horse being gambled on, but I can't be going for them with the form that the yard has been in. Just nothing against Paul or anything like that, but it's just trying to find winners. You try and find the ones coming from the best of form, and generally John Kiley, when he gets a decent enough bumper horse, he's shrewd enough where he places it. I think he's found it there today. He has Derek O'Connor on board, one of the best amateurs in the game. I just think realistically this horse is going to be way too good to be beaten out tomorrow, especially, like I said, putting experience to good use. It's just going to be very, very interesting. I just think 9-4, it's great value in my opinion. I just think he's much too good for the field, and providing he is able to put experience to good use, he's going to take a hell of a lot of stopping. But look, I'm going to leave it there. Please make sure to keep liking, sharing and subscribing. For those who want to sign up to Patreon, it's €10 a month. Please make sure to get it done as soon as you possibly can to get your names in for the Cheltenham tipping competition. That there is €10 a month. Realistically, what it is we give out daily tips. We have a great WhatsApp group, give away monthly giveaways that are well worth the money. For the sake of €10 a month, we are definitely one of the most valuable what's the word, services you could get for that sort of a price. I leave a link in the description below. Please make sure to keep liking, sharing and subscribing. I hope that you're all on the 28-1 winner there today, and hopefully we have plenty more of that to come tomorrow. Thanks again, folks. Best of luck, and I'll see you again Wednesday evening. Thank you.